guys, this is Laurel of the Dabbling Hook, or Rel of the Dabbling Hook. How are you guys doing? It is Sunday, 22nd, and it's 4:57 in the afternoon. It's been a lovely day. I'm tired again. Yes, because of the craft fair, but I've had to admit that it's not just old age. It's the fact that I think I've been denying this fact, but that our craft is very sedentary, and I've given into that this last year and a half, 2 years, and it has now settled squarely on my frame, and it's not good. So anyway, I used to be able to handle the craft fairs much better, even last year, and this year I'm on to number 2, and it's kicking my butt. I was in bed before midnight, and the only time that happens is when I'm sick, and that's not very often. So I was in bed so early that I woke up at 7:21 this morning, and I was so tired and achy I couldn't get out of bed, so I just laid there for another 2 hours or so. So yeah, we'll talk about the craft fair at the end. So what are we going to talk about? Okay, a quick shout out that I totally forgot to do in the quick video I posted, I think it was yesterday or the day before. Not yesterday, on Friday. Shout out to Pam. Of course, I didn't write down your channel's name. Pam's Crochet and Knit Corner, I think that's the name, right? Hey, Pam. Pam has been a supporter. She's followed me on Instagram. She's been awesome. So I wanted to do a shout out, and I completely forgot about it. It slipped my mind when I did that last quick video. So this is my shout out to Pam. I will have her channel link below. I think she's just on to video number 2. And you guys would have seen her in the video with both Z and Seta. She had that orange shawl on by TL Yarn Craft that I'm tempted to do, but I'm making myself not start anything new that I know I won't finish right away. Everything I'm doing is pretty much for the craft fair or to finish things I already have. Yeah. Anyway, so that was my shout out to Pam. The other thing is today, once I got my behind out of bed and, shook off the aches and pains, I had to go run a few errands. I was planning not to leave the house. I had laundry to do, and that's all. But usually when I do craft fairs, Father Minion goes shopping, and I may be generalizing here, but you guys have to know what I'm talking about. When the men's do the shopping or do things that you usually do, even though they should do it, a lot of things get missed. So he went shopping, grocery shopping, and there were quite a few things. If it's not written down, it's not coming home. And, it's things that's used all the time by them. That's my little soapbox. I'm off it now. But anyway, I had to go run errands and pick up those things that were left. I also had to go get yarn, 1 or 2 skeins for something from the first craft fair that one of my 2-button cows I sold. I mentioned that somebody wanted it, but it was taken by her friend, and she was supposed to contact me about redoing it. I didn't really think I would hear from them. People tell you that all the time, even though they really like something. But I figured since that color was very popular, I would just make it again just to have it. So I went to get it. I found one at my local Walmart. Was it at my local Walmart? No, it wasn't. At the farther Walmart from me. I went back, and they didn't have any. So so I wanted to get 2. I only have 1 from that I got last week. Anyway, long story short, I took Randy's bag that I showed with me, and it's the perfect size just to take. It's a tote bag, perfect size just to take around, drop stuff in. It's big enough, and I don't like big bags or big purses or whatever. So hang on 1 second. I need to check something on my computer because I'm still having that glitchy issue, so I'll be right back. Okay, so never fails. The minions were away watching the game at the in-laws, and now they're back right in the middle of recording. So I will be back again. So I took Randy's bag with me, and like I said, it was a perfect size. And it's still got my stuff in there. And I also put the keychain that Penny Bolton gave, and I took off my autofocus, so I'm trying to experiment. So that's on there. You can hear it. So yeah, so her bag is the perfect, her tote bag. It's a new thing. I don't know if she's going to keep doing it, but she has, I don't know if she still has any in her store, but she had them in her store. And it's great carry along for everything. And I'm going to pause again, so I'll be right back. Okay. So the other thing that I need to do is I need to go through my inventory. I have some stuff that I've had with me for a couple of years, and I think I'm going to try to put them together and give them to my sister. My sister suggested donating it to someplace like Rosie's Place or something like that. So I want to put it somewhere or send it somewhere that it's actually going to have use. So it'll also help me lighten the load I have to take with me to craft fairs, because I keep bringing it back and forth, and if I don't have to, then that would be good. Anyway, so as far as the random act of sharing for the 2 skeins, I did hear back from one person, so I'm waiting for the other one to get back to me. If I don't hear back, well, you have till Friday, because I only do this for a week, and if not, then I will pull again. Also, the winner for Spooky, still haven't heard back from them, so if I don't hear again, I'm going to pull one more time. So again, that person has till Friday, and if I don't hear back, I will pull one more time, and if again that person doesn't get hold of me, then I'm not going to pull again. So yeah, that was my admin portion. Okay, as far as whips, I have 2. You're not going to say hi?
No.
I'll be right back. Okay, hopefully that will be the last interruption. My 2 whips, active whips. You must always clarify that. Active whips. There are whips. Anyway, the first craft fair, my Yvette shawl, option 2, that sold with the latte cakes. I was planning to make another one for this craft fair, and I just got busy with life and never finished it. So I started one, I think, on Thursday at work. No, I started Tuesday at work. Didn't get to work on it. I thought I would get to work on it at my weekly craft fiber meetup. Didn't. Anyway, I've been working here and there on it, and I finished it this morning. Last night when I took it to bed with me, I couldn't work on it. So, and I don't typically work on items when I'm in bed anyway. 1, it makes me sleepy, and 2, I don't. But I figured usually it makes me sleepy. I thought it would help, and it definitely helped. So I got like literally like half a row in, and I couldn't even do it. So I finished it this morning. I just had like the last row and doing the edging on it. So again, it's in latte cakes and mandala ombre. And it's the cool colorway. I used 2 skeins, almost 2 full skeins. I have, I don't know what I did with the bag. It's right here. I used the full skein. Nope, I'm lying. Almost a full skein of latte cakes. And this is what's left of, oh, it's grazed, but it's showing up like a tealy blue on screen. But this is what I have left of the second cake. And I may be able to get a headband out of that. And then holding it with the latte cakes. This is what I have left, and I'm going to use that for tassels. So, like I said, it's done. And option 2, for those who don't know, this is what happens. Oops, if I can ever get this right. There you go. You get the angel wing effect in option 2 rather than just straight across. So yeah, that's that. And it also has an edging, which the original one only has like a simple single crochet edging. This one, and I am not great with edgings, and if I'm going to put one on one of my designs, I'd want it to be something that I worked up myself rather than taking it from somebody else. So I'm not very good at edging, so you don't usually see that on stuff. Anywho, I can fold that. Oh, and I got to remember to take my stitch markers out. Yep. So that's pretty much finished. It's a whip because I need to put the tassels on, so I need to do that. And then my only other whip, active whip, is another latte cake combination, and this is a 3-strand. So Sandy of Crochet, she had commented on, well, someone named Sandy had commented on my posts on Facebook, and I totally didn't realize it was her, and it wasn't until I was watching one of her videos that she was talking about it. I'm like, oh, that was you. So she did ask to show the picture, and I did respond, Sandy, if you're watching, or if you see this. I did respond right away that yes, you could use the picture, but I don't know if you saw that. But what she liked was the color combination of, trying not to make things fall here, 3 yarns. It was the original Karen cake in red velvet. This was one of the first, excuse me, first ones I bought. And there was a darker color in there, I believe, or just the red. I don't remember. But this was one of the first latte cakes that I bought. I did make a shawl out of it that I gave to my sister-in-law. So it's this latte cake. It is, and everything is pretty much used up, so they're falling apart. And you can't see the color because it's so dark. But make sure I move the cursor so I don't stop. What do you call it? Pound of Love in Claret. I love this colorway. I think this one, and there's a gray one that I love also, and the cream color. They would go great together. And of course, the roasted tomato latte cake, which I'm not going to pull out because everything is falling apart in there. So I'm basically making another Victorina beanie, and the slip stitch that Debbie is not fond of, but I am. And I was never fond of the slip stitch because I thought it took too long, and you know I'm about instant gratification, but once you get the hang of it, I think it's worth the extra time. But that's what I'm making with that. It'll be interesting to see how it works up in a beanie rather than the 2-button cowl. So those are my active whips right now. I do have the sloth mal that I have not touched at all, that I really need to finish. But what I need to do is put the finishing touches on, pardon the close-up, what everyone's referring to as the fall weave, which when I first sent it out to testers, that's what I had the name because I didn't have a name yet. This is going to be known as the Anastasia beanie or hat, Anastasia hat. I think beanie is now interchangeably used. Beanie is really the fitted hat, but sometimes I do beanie, sometimes I do beanie, sometimes I do hat, but it will be the Anastasia. And I'm trying to incorporate the last of the tech editor's suggestions in it because I need to send that to Lady Di Yarns because it's about time where all the club purchases will be going out. And somebody did ask in a comment, which I haven't had time to respond yet, but when or if I will announce when this is going to be available. It will not be available till starting November 1st because it's exclusive to the club through October. So yes, I will let you guys know when I am about to release the pattern. So Anastasia. Okay. acquisitions. I didn't mean to make acquisitions, but I did. Last time I bought some Hometown USA because I like color, like I said. So I have the different colors that I make the 2-button cowls, but there are a lot of people who ask for like the basic colors. I think I've only made one black one, and I don't even think I have enough black to make one. You need 2 skeins. But they do tend to like the grays, the dark, light, all the grays. So I bought, I think I bought 6 skeins or whatever they had left at Walmart. This is one of the colors that's always gone quickly at my Walmart. So when it shows up, I usually tend to grab it. So I've already made 2, and I don't think I ever took a picture of them. I always like to take a picture of my finished items, but I think I made them the night before the craft fair, and I just, I never took a picture. So that was that. Then this is the ombre that I had bought at my local Walmart that the other Walmart doesn't. This is Harmony. This is the color that it's way brighter on screen than it really is, but this is the colorway that I mixed with the, I think it's a blueberry latte cakes. I'm not sure. So speaking of latte cakes, I went to get that color because I've already used the one I had to add with this, but the latte cakes are currently on sale for $6.49 or something like that at Michael's, and I refuse. I think the sale is going on till Tuesday maybe. So I'm going to wait it out, and I'm going to use like a 50% off coupon because I just refuse to spend, the sale. I could do better with a coupon, so frugalista. So I got that, and then today I got that because it's so happy. It just, I think this is like the best one. Yes, because it makes me happy. So I got that because I started an Yvette shawl for myself in this colorway, and I think I'm going to need more than 2, which is what I have, so I got a 3rd one. So that's what that's for. It's going to be used sooner rather than later. It won't be a long-suffering skein. So a little bit of rustling. The other thing that I did, I went to Michael's. What did I go to Michael's for? I can't remember. I went to Lowe's, and in that shopping complex, there's a Michael's. And usually if I just go somewhere else, I don't go to Michael's. So if I'm going to go to Michael's, I go there first, and then I go do everything else. But maybe because I had a coupon. I think there was a 60% off coupon. But everything I got was on sale or on clearance. So there goes that. So they have this. It's really soft, too. This is Wellness Baby, and it's supposed to be, is it certified, or it's antibacterial, antifungal, hyperallergenic, odor-free. Odor-free I'm great at. I'm all for. But all these antis. Remember when like Purell came out and people were just Purelling the heck out of everything, and you're killing all the bacteria, good and bad. So it makes for superbugs or super bacteria because, you're not allowing things to naturally progress. I use Purell when there's no water, when it's really needed. Otherwise, I just wash my hands. But anyway, so all this, anti that, I don't know about, but it's that gray color that I like. So I am going to 3-strand this to make a big button cowl or some headbands. There'll be plenty in there. This is 820 yards. Wellness Baby. 8.8 ounces, 250 grams, 750 meters. So it was normally $9.99, and I got it for $4.97. So I got one. I picked up 2, but I usually put everything in my cart, and then by the time I've walked around the store, I get my senses back and go like, what are you doing? You're never going to use that. So, but the other thing I got was, instead of Bernat blanket yarn for, I wanted to make a couple of chubby bunnies because I sold one at my other fair, my first fair, and I wanted to replenish it. So they had these, which are the baby velvet, And this is a pink dusk. There was a darker pink that I decided against. I had it first, but I changed my mind. There's also like a baby blue, but I also got, what is that? Blissful Grayish. It's a gray beige color. So now that my autofocus isn't on, it's not focusing as well. So these I will probably double or not double and make chubby bunnies out of that. And then these were on sale. I needed to make another, this is Thick and Quick Victrina in this. I did make one. I bought two. I made one the night before the fair, and I need to make another one. These were on sale for $4.97, I think. So about, Walmart's always at $5.97, so I figured why not. And then I also picked up two of Peyton's Grace in, I love this color. It's called Fiesta. It's this burnt orange color, and it's way brighter on screen than it really is. And then this is ginger, green, ginger, and it's a light green color. It's more washed out on screen. It's a little more warm in real life than this, but yeah. Now these, tiny, I think it's a number 2, number 1, it's a number 3. It's a very thin number 3, but it's mercerized cotton, and I'm using these when I make faux fur pom-poms to cinch it up and use as the ties. So let me put that back before I cause an avalanche. So those are my acquisitions. Hopefully they will get used and not parked. The other things that I bought a couple weeks ago, I think it was Ella or somebody else, I think it was Ella, who had shown this, and I went right away in. While I was watching a video, I went and bought the book, but I forgot to show it. So I got this as well. I haven't done anything out of it yet. And then somebody else showed this. It might have been Kim, Blue Cherub. See how easily I'm influenced? It's terrible. I think it was Kim. But I got this. Creepy Cute Crochet. Why not? It's amigurumi. I'm a sucker for amigurumi. So I have those two. Usually after craft fair season, I get heavy into doing amigurumi, so it won't go to waste. Okay. What else? I think that is all for my acquisitions, for my whips. Finished objects. I will have to put in a picture. I did a couple of white headbands. I had this skein of white Bernat Softy Chunky. I don't even remember where I got that from. But I made a couple of headbands, one Kalina, one Sherelle headband, and then I had a little bit left, and it's really hard to use all the yarn. I do have a bag of scraps, but I'm trying not to get it. I used to have a lot of scraps, and I'm trying to leave it, only have that bag of scraps and not anything bigger. So I used up the rest of that yarn, and I made a cup cozy with the Kalina, no, with the Sherelle pattern. I did a cup cozy, so you'll see that in the picture. So that's that. I did another Yip Yip, and funny enough, the first one was it just drew people in. This one, I think maybe like 3 or 4 people noticed it, and I changed where it was hanging many times, and it just, I'll talk about the fair. So I'll have to put in a picture of that, of the Yip Yip. And I did it in bright primary colors too, and it still just wasn't, seems like the gray one drew in people more than this one. And then the other finished object I have is square number 18, which is, ooh, this is like yolk yellow on screen. It's a little warmer than that. It's not as bright. But this is the grid stitch, which is a single double. Great for blankets. I think it's great for a washcloth as well. But it's not holey at all, as you can see. So if you want a blanket that's not holey, and it's pretty quick to work up, and it's, I would say, pretty mindless. Yeah, this is a good one. So that's done. That was square number 18 of the 2019 Stash Busting Cow, being done by the Unraveled Mitten. So that is it for finished objects. And I lied. The main thing I pulled out first. So the other finished objects were ones that I did at the craft fair. So I made some Victrina beanies. I made one. This is marble, I think. All thick and quick. So there's that one, and then the faux fur pom-pom. I tie mine on, and I let people know if you're not into pom-poms, or you just, you know, I've had one that I've washed, and it just get a little matted, but it's still, it looks like a used hat. You don't want, you know, your hat to look ratty and your pom-pom to always look like brand spanking new. It needs to wear in keeping with the hat, I guess. So if you wash them together, they will look worn together. But I tie them on in case they just don't want a pom-pom. So, and these are pom-poms that I made. No, I'm not selling them. It's a pain in the butt to make. It's messy. It's hard on the hands. So, yeah. But this particular, I'm not sure if this is like the fox one, or I forget. They have names to, you know, mimic or resemble certain animals. So I forget what that one was. But this one, I have two sizes that I cut, and this is the big size, and it just comes out way bigger than, this is the big size. It's the same same size that I cut out, but when you put this one together, it comes out way smaller than this one, just because of the type of material it is. So anyway, I made this one, which is the fisherman color. I love this pom-pom though. I may have to stick to just that one, or these two. So yeah. And this is, I think this is Starlight? No. The one that's this with the gold sparkle is Starlight. I forget what this one is called. Yeah, I don't remember. But yeah, so there's the other one. Oh, that looks really nice on camera. This looks like, on camera, it looks like Karen Simply Soft Party. I think it's the chocolate sparkle, the brown sparkle, whatever it's called. This looks like it, but a chunky version. But anyway, and this, I don't know what animal this is supposed to be, but yeah, these are the two that I mainly make. So I made those at the craft fair. I made 4. One of them sold. And speaking of craft fair, oh, hang on. This is the other pom-pom. I have a white one that's really shorter than I would have liked as far as the fluff, but this is the other. This is a blush pink that I make. But I think this one is my favorite, I think. It looks better. It moves better. It looks fuller. Anyway, okay. Craft fair. In my estimation of craft fairs, it was a dud. This was my 3rd year doing this one. The first year I said it had rained overnight and early that morning, and it was a pretty hot day, or warm day, pretty warm day. So in the mornings it was, you know, setting up was a little wet, but it warmed up and it just released steam. That was year 1. I still did well. Year 2 was hot, but not as hot as this one. I still did well. Yesterday it was really hot. There was breeze, so if there was shade and a breeze, it felt nice, but the direct sun was hot. It didn't go as well. I have a threshold that I've set for myself, my personal threshold, and if I don't meet that, then to me it's a dud, and it was a dud. Don't get me wrong, I made my table fee back, and I made a profit, but it wasn't what I wanted, what I went in expecting. Having said that, craft fairs, you can never judge. You can do the same craft fair over and over again. It just depends on who comes that year, what they're willing to pay. I don't really think you can, unless you have something that everyone wants, and I don't go in for the the trendy things, because if you make a bunch of them, then you're going to be sitting on them if you don't sell them all, or if they don't sell well at your craft fairs, then what? I like practical, I don't want to say classic, but things that can go with everything, with a little pop of color. But things that you can wear over and over and over again, that it's not like, oh, I can't wear that because it was in last year kind of thing. That's not my thing. No knock on anyone who makes it. Plus, I don't like making the character hats with all the many pieces. No, I need to make it and be done with it. Long spiel. So it was a dud as far as sales. The traffic was a little lighter to me than the last couple of years. Again, it was a nice day. It was hot enough. It didn't rain. It didn't whatever, that we've had in the past. So it was like the perfect opportunity. And funny enough, the last 2 years, I don't think there were as many kids there. This time they were, and I had the stuff for it. The other thing, too, is they gave out a, what do you call it? A survey. They didn't come back around to pick it up. So it's in my bin still. And my recommendation to them was, please don't put all the crocheters or yarn vendors right next to each other. Directly in front of me was another crocheter. She knits too, but she had more crochet. And her thing was amigurumi. So it's not like she was selling wearables like I was as well, but she was all amigurumi. I had my little section of amigurumi, so we were facing each other. I will say, and I went over and I thanked her for pricing her things accordingly. Her dolls that she was making, I forgot to take a picture, but no knock on her, but there are amigurumi artists out there who make some like amazing things, and they look, sometimes I think, a little too polished, but that's just personal opinion. It's sometimes it's missing that handmade feel to it. It just looks so, anyway. But hers were definitely, I wouldn't say on that level, and she was charging like $65 for a doll that was maybe not even a foot tall. So I appreciate that, because it takes a lot of work, no matter what it looks like, unless it just looks, unfinished and just ratty. She was charging $65, and I appreciated that. She also had a huge, which also tells me my stuff is underpriced, because she does, a lot of her things were like nerdy, and that was her own word, nerdy, sci-fi, that's even a word. That was a lean towards it. She had like superhero dolls. She had this huge, if you guys ever watch Avatar, The Last Airbender, the cartoon, not the movie, even though that had a movie too, but the big flying, I don't know what it's called, but it's called Appa, and it's this huge flying, I don't even know what it's called, but animal that they had. She made one, and she was charging $250. It was probably about 2 feet long, probably about this big, but she said there were like 37 or so pieces that had to be made and stitched onto it, so it's a lot of work. And she said if it's not, definitely that venue, I don't think, unless there was a true die-hard nerdy person who wanted that wasn't the venue for it, but at least it was out there to be seen. But she does, I think she said she had done Comic-Con, the local one here as well, so she does those types of shows. So again, dud for me. I did make my table back. I did make a profit, just not what I wanted. What sold? Sold a chubby bunny. I sold 4 of the 2-button cows. That was looked at and felt touched, especially the ones again with the latte cake. Funny enough, those weren't the ones that sold. It was the, the regular ones, the gray. I had a gray black colorway. I think it was I forget what it was, but it was I think I showed it last time. That sold. I sold 2 Victrina beanies, which I was surprised at because it was really hot. I sold a knit hat. Now, I've mentioned that my, excuse me, my, what's it called? Can't think. My footbridge beanie, and then there's my Pebbles and Pathways was a take on that same stitch. And then I wanted to do another one because I like that stitch. But the one I originally made, I said my sister and the minion said it was too similar. I did another one with just that design in the middle. That one sold to somebody. She tried on 3 different ones and came back to that one twice, so she bought that. I sold a regular knit, I think it was like a 2x2. It was a chunky yarn 2x2 knit hat. I sold one headband. I was very surprised, one headband. There wasn't even a lot of activity around the headbands at all. One other vendor who was behind me came and looked. I'm kind of glad she didn't buy anything because it's a non-smoking event, and she was sneaking in cigarettes and they stank so bad. And in that heat, when you're smoking, that's just going to get in everything, on everything. So I was quite displeased, and I did mention that to one of the organizers, and it turned out quite a few other people had complained about her as well. I sold a chubby bunny. Did I say that? I sold the ragdoll style elephant, which was another, it was another one of the amigurumis from the, what is it? The Underground Crafter. They did the Ami-along, and I think it was from this year's Ami. They did it last year, which I sold a bunch of things from there at the first fair. Was it from this year's? But anyway, it was from the Underground Crafters amigurumi softy along. The elephant was from there. And then I sold 4 octos, I think. 3, I think 4. I may not written one down. And yeah. Oh, and then there was a little chubby, I forget what they're called. If I can find the name of them. I made them last year, and I made, there was a series of them, and there was a bear, there was a bat, and I think the bat is what was left that sold. It was a little chubby amigurumi. So yeah, that was it. My next craft fair is in 2 weeks. I don't have one this coming Saturday, so it's an off week for me. I get to relax. Actually, we're going to the Big E, which is a big fair type thing around here. Well, it's about an hour and 20 minutes away from here. So I told the minions that we're going. So we're doing that next Saturday because there's no craft fair, and then my next one will be the Saturday after that. So yeah, that was it. All in all, it was an okay day. I ended at 14,000 and change on my Fitbit because I had to keep moving with the sun and up and down, and yeah, it was another long day, and I'm wiped. So that is it. I hope the winners of the Spooky and the other winner for the cotton cakes, the cotton color cakes from AC Moore brand, contacts me by Friday. If not, I will do another drawing, and I think if I've forgotten anything, it will have to wait. I will talk to you guys later. Bye.